My name is Ben Reisinger. I am the professor of C3370. And we tonight are talking our social media, public relations for social media. And tonight we are talking one of our widest ranges of topics, and we're bringing it all back in together. It's a fun night, actually. So, first off, I have to say again, this is my Movember mustache. I hope you see it's coming in a little bit more, and I'm always going to give this PSA during the month of November. This is for men's health, charity, and wheelchair and adaptive sports at Mary Free Bed Rehab Hospital. So it's pretty cool. If you go to Movember.com, at Movember is their Twitter handle. I don't know if anybody at AU is growing their mustaches out. They also do No Shave November. That's another one where it's just big, bushy beardies. You guys know, yeah? So grow your mows, support your mo bros and your mo sisters. It's a good time. So let me pull up here again my notes. So hey, how's everybody doing? Any questions? Everybody cool? Anybody have anything big? Any anecdotes? No?
Thanksgiving isn't coming soon enough.
Yeah. Are you ready for the end of the semester and to be done?
Not really. I'm ready for this week to be over.
Is this the week? We all had those weeks for sure.
Yeah.
Good. You look back at them and think how easy they were in a few years, even though they suck right now, and they're rough, Are you sleeping?
That's a good question. I got 2 hours. I take the GRE on Friday, that's why.
Oh, cool. Yeah, study up, man. GRE. Woo, I took that. That was tough.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it was interesting. But okay, so in your syllabus, it says that you have another article review due on a web video, and that is wrong. That is incorrect. So I'm going to let you do a blog, a 500-word blog on whatever you want. It doesn't have to be social media. It can be personal. It can be this or that. So just give me a 500-word blog that's due on Sunday. So that is my bad. I must have obviously done a copy and paste because I was like moving things around and forgot that. So this Sunday, 500-word blog on anything. Go for it. Social media fail of the week. So I'm going to ask you guys here beginning, and we always do. Anybody know of any social media fails or anything crazy happened online, or with digital media that anyone knows of this week? Or did you do anything?
I did actually see one.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, so I saw that, I think this was either this week or last week, I think it was Bloomingdale, had a pretty controversial ad come out. It was, I don't even know how to describe it without looking it up, but maybe you heard about it. It caused a lot of uproar. It was something about a guy was looking at a girl and it said oh, spike your friend's eggnog when they're not looking, and it kind of looked like it was like an innuendo for date rape or something. So it got a lot of hate on it. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but I did see that this week and remembered that it was
I totally saw that. That's a really good example. Anybody else have an opinion on that before I share my opinion?
My opinion is just that I think the United States, or just the Western Hemisphere as a whole, needs to be more educated on sexual assault and what's appropriate. Because I don't know how that ever got through.
I don't either.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's supposed to be cheeky funny, okay? It's not cheeky funny, and you really would think that. Yes, okay, that had to originate from a brainstorm, that had to go to a graphic designer, then it had to be signed off on by an editor, then it had to be inserted in those ads bought in certain places. That all these people in the chain down Bloomingdale's, communications or PR team, they would have thought, maybe this is just a little bit inappropriate, and they're definitely getting the negative backlash for it right now. People are still talking about that. We were talking about that last week with another class, my other class I have at IUPUI, and students there at IUPUI actually made I guess it was in the student center, they made a reverse ad of that, and they put it up in the student center at IUPUI. It's really cool. It's like a big glass thing on Indiana Avenue, in Michigan Avenue in downtown Indianapolis. I guess instead of saying spike your friend's drink, it said something like look out for your friend, at the holiday parties and or at all times or something like that, and it was talking about being cool as bros or sisters, and things like that. So it was a very cool, interesting topic. Will it hurt them? Probably a little bit. It probably will hurt them. Let's look at it in a business aspect, especially from PR. Okay, so let me ask you guys. Okay, and I'm gonna start in the middle. I don't know, or something like that. Let's see, Courtney. Maybe we'll start with you. But okay, so what would you do if you were on their PR team? You're getting all this digital backlash and stuff. Oh, and I'll tell you this too. Bloomingdale's just pulled the ad. They never gave a retribution or a "I'm sorry" tweet or anything like that. I don't think. I'll have to let me look it up real quick. But what do you think about it, Courtney? What would you do?
Absolutely, the first step is to apologize and to like take blame for it. Like you shouldn't just act like it never happened. Obviously, everybody saw it and it was a big deal, and that you were in the wrong. So you need to apologize to your customers and just restate your personal ethics, so you believe, and just kind of send that general message that obviously we absolutely do not support this, and basically you just have to own up to your mistake and suffer the consequences.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Things like this happen, and yes, I mean it is, and you could also look at it on the other, it's a double-edged sword. Any publicity is good publicity. Now people are talking about Bloomingdale's where they normally probably wouldn't be talking about them this much, but again, it is in a negative context and things like that. So that's a good fail. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have anything that they saw this week?
I do.
Okay, go for it. What's up, Meg?
It was Billboard tweeted it. Hold on, I have to find it.
Okay.
It was about Kim Kardashian and her daughter.
Mm.
And her daughter had this sucker thing or this toy thing. I don't know what it was really. I can't see the picture very well. And it said the apple doesn't fall far from the tree because she was licking it, and she obviously whatever, and they were sexualizing her daughter, and so they got a lot of backlash. And I saw it on BuzzFeed and Kicker, and so they just.
Oh, I did not see that one, but that makes sense to me. Jeez,
Yeah.
why would they? So that they're basically giving an innuendo that's the daughter's lollipop, in essence. Yeah. Well, I guess that I mean that's Kimye, right?
Right.
I mean, well, don't put anything past them. They probably got paid $10,000 just for her daughter to have that passy or whatever like that, for the day to get photographed with it. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's definitely poor taste.
Yeah.
Did they pull the picture or anything like that?
They kind of said that they weren't trying to say that they were sexualizing her and all of this stuff, and they kind of just apologized because they just got a lot of backlash. But
Wow.
well, I saw on it, so yeah.
Well, okay, thanks. That's another good one. All right, anybody else?
This one wasn't really a public one, but for my job, I created an Instagram for our individual store at work this week, and so I've been kind of maintaining and working with that, and I accidentally forgot that I had switched it back over to my Instagram, my personal, this week, and I may or may not have accidentally followed a few of my higher-ups in my company, which is fine, but when I realized that I did, I kind of panicked and unfollowed them all. So they probably got a really weird notification, so that was just kind of awkward, and my store manager thought it was hilarious, but that's just kind of my funny thing. Oops.
Well, no, Olivia, that really is, that's a great example, and let's talk about that, because, I mean, this stuff happens. I mean, that's true. Back in the day, I remember once when I butt dialed my boss, and I was just yelling or goofing around and things like that, and I'm sure it probably sounded really stupid, and I was like, uh-oh, but I get this. So you followed them, you thought you were in your store account, and you followed these guys from your personal account. Well, what would I do in that situation? Okay, let me just think about this. Why not follow them? Or are you worried that your content would not be, it wouldn't be appropriate for these higher-ups in your company? Can I ask that, please?
Honestly, I'm not worried about whether or not they follow me. Some of them already do. Some of our closer, more direct higher-ups do. But okay. I think it's just, it was just kind of a moment of panic where I was like, oh crap, oops, and I like unfollowed wrong account, and then I said, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have unfollowed them, and then I just kind of got flustered and didn't know what to do from there. I'm not worried about my content. I don't post anything bad about work or like any stuff like that, but it was just kind of like a freak out moment, and I didn't really handle it very well.
No, I get that, you know, and we've all done crazy moments and things like that, and when we talk our social media fail, I'll tell you, you know, I've had a couple social media fails myself, but, you know, my suggestion, I guess, go back and follow them again. Why not, you know, shoot, and, I mean, it can't hurt you, right? I mean, maybe it could just help you, maybe rise in the company, maybe they can see how cool you are, posting pictures of you working or something like that, I don't know. I'm just kind of brainstorming here, but that's a good example. Thanks. All right, man. Almost everybody's talked. You got anything, Allison?
I can't think of anything because the Red Cup thing has gone down, or it's not as, I don't know. We have finally found that we have more important things to talk about. So yeah, I don't think I really have anything.
No, that's cool. Okay, right on. So I will read you here okay, I was Googling the magazine, Bloomingdale's. Okay, so my social media fail of the week, again, came from Twitter, and it was this congressman, and this is on politicalfails.wordpress.com. Okay, if you guys want to know where I'm grabbing this from, and you can go to it. It's a WordPress site. It's pretty cool, and it's a pretty basic WordPress layout skin, you know, kind of similar to what you guys do. And it's this dude, it says, when politics, government, and social media collide. So it's a lot of fails. I really kind of like the site. But so this is what happened November 16th. Okay, this is when he did the blog. But the headline is, Congressman makes ridiculous tweet in the aftermath of Paris attacks. Okay, so everybody here knows about what happened in Paris. And then today they had to evacuate a stadium, and they did find an ambulance. It's scary stuff outside this soccer stadium where the Germany and Netherlands were going to play, and it was full of explosives and things like that. And it was pretty scary. That was like right before class started that I saw that in breaking news. The AP Twitter account actually talking about using social media. So on Friday night, when the first attacks happened, and we found out about them happening in the theater. And you can look him up here. But the tweet has since, like always, excuse me, with political figures and higher ups, you know, they delete tweets even though the tweet is out there already. But it's Republican Representative Jeff Duncan, and his Twitter handle is REP Jeff Duncan, JEFFDUNCAN. So Rep Jeff Duncan at 7:33 p.m. This was like 7:33 p.m. It would have been about 2 to 3 hours after, I think, the first news broke of the attacks. And this is what this guy, a congressman, he's a Republican out of South Carolina, okay, so he's a Southern guy, a Republican. He goes, how's that Syrian refugee resettlement look now, question mark. How about that mass migration into Europe, question mark. Terrorism is alive and well in the world, period. And then hashtag no. That's nuts, guys. This guy is a congressman, an elected congressman of the United States of America, and he's basically bad-mouthing Europe right here. Again, he said, how's that Syrian refugee resettlement look now, question mark. How about that mass migration into Europe, question mark. Terrorism is alive and well in the world, period. And then, oh, I forgot this, hashtag no. Okay? So he's crazy, all right? The tweet got pulled, and that is absolutely a fail. Meg, we have two of you. Do you see that?
No.
You left and come back. I think it still has.
Computer's been messing up, and it like kicked me off like twice now.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's probably being quirky. Go to a different spot, possibly in your house, and try to get a better internet connection. If maybe, I'm just trying to troubleshoot. That happens a lot when the internet connection isn't pretty good or it's kind of spotty. So, Republican Jeff Duncan out of South Carolina tweets negative stuff right after these attacks happen. What do you guys think? Anybody have any comments about that? Anybody look it up? Because the guy, he's pretty conservative when he's talking the rest of the time on his Twitter handle, so it's kind of interesting. No?
I mean, it does. I don't want to speak too much because I feel like I'll just like out myself as some crazy liberal. But I feel like him doing that so soon after is like a political polarizing move in effort to try to like discredit. Granted, it was what Obama said was like 2 days ago or yesterday, but I felt like this was him like prefacing a lot of the Democratic Party's like stance on things, because I think like as far as foreign affairs go, they like Europe is kind of from the like a political standpoint, Europe and the Democratic Party usually like work pretty well together. So I feel like by him being a Republican, the timeliness of it seemed less about the actual like, okay, terrorism is alive, and more like I'm trying to make a political statement that will divide the like progressive conservatives and maybe the more like in-betweeners. That's just my take on it.
No, that's fine. That's why I ask. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any comments about the tweet? Or let me ask you guys this. What would you guys do? Obviously, it was his communications team or whatnot. I haven't looked into it enough to see exactly who it was that pulled the tweet or whatever. But, you know, what would you guys do if you were working with someone and they tweeted something like that? Anybody? No?
I mean, I think it would just have to come down to like being the right. If that's like your if that's the point you want to make, that terrorism is still alive and you know all that stuff, which like I don't think anyone's going to disagree with. I think it would just be like communicating the appropriate time for that, not maybe hours after when we still don't know what's going on and like we still don't know. I think at that point ISIS hadn't like accepted credit for it 2 hours after, but like the appropriate time in which you can, when you are a public figure like that, especially in politics, people expect some sort of comment out of you, but maybe that comment can come, 48 hours after instead of like 2 hours.
Sure, you're right. And he was probably, a little emotional or something like that when he did that. So, right on. Thanks. Or who said something?
Yeah, I do. I just like in that kind of a situation after that kind of tragedy, there's really nothing that you should be saying except for like saying that like your thoughts and prayers are with those in Paris, and that like that's not the time to make a political stance. And there was some controversy with Donald Trump as well that had an old tweet that like resurfaced. I don't know if anybody heard about this, but it was something about like, let me actually try to find it. I think it was like isn't it interesting that the tragedy in Paris took place in one of the toughest gun control countries of the world? And somehow like that was from Donald Trump, and somehow it like resurfaced even though that tweet was written quite a while ago. So that was just not appropriate timing to say that at all. Yeah.
No, absolutely right. You're right. And it's those guys try to capitalize on that. I mean, that's kind of a political move, to do something like that. So, anybody else? Meg, looks like you're working better.
Yeah, my second one went off, so that's good.
Woo! Hey, okay. All right on, guys. Well, hey, we've been talking a little bit of everything here tonight, so let's get on to chatting, PR, traditional PR, and new media or social media. So the whole semester, we've talked again. We're bringing it all around. And last week when we were talking SEO, SEM, and web videos, stuff like that, everything we learned, hopefully it's making more sense, and it's coming back around to say, you guys saying, oh, this is why, he's having us do this. So this is why he's having us. Woo! Okay, there we go. Somebody, we had some noise. Everybody cool? I don't know if anybody has an alternate window playing or anything like that. Hey, there we go. I don't know if that is you, Courtney, or not. Okay, but all right, let's get back in this. So.
Good. Okay. Sorry, I'll keep it muted. I didn't have anything going on, so.
Oh, I don't know. It's just feedback, I guess. Sorry. My apologies. We all know Google Hangouts are giving Meg issues, and they're very quirky. So bringing it all around and bringing it together here, all right? So we've learned about platforms. We've learned about SEO, SEM. We've learned about paid money, all these different things, okay? But still, you guys, you know, we cannot forget about traditional media. We can't forget about there's still audiences out there, there's still a demographic out there that prefer to hold a paper. It makes me sound old. I'm going to be 38 in exactly a month and a day. December 18th is my birthday. I'm going to be 38 years old, and I still love to just hold a paper in my hands. I mean, I grew up, my dad had a paper every day, and either my dad or myself would like walk outside and go get the paper every morning and things like that. And so it's kind of ingrained in me, and I appreciate reading news like that. When I was at AU, I was an Anderson University Raven. I was a sports reporter at the Anderson Herald Bulletin, so I would work there at nights, and still at that time they would print the paper right there in Anderson, Indiana. Now they print it in Kokomo at kind of a distribution facility. But, you know, so I like that stuff. So there's still, obviously, and then you have your baby boomers, which are, you know, kind of people my dad's age and things like that. My mom and dad are in their mid-60s, you know, early to mid-60s. And Nala, shh, that's my doggy. She's barking at something. And they like traditional media. They watch the news. They watch television. They want to see television ads. They are the ones that are still looking really at billboards. You know, I look at billboards. Let me ask you guys, any of you guys ever look at billboards? Do they ever influence any of you? Because you guys are like the millennial, you know, just like you guys are pure millennials here. And so, you know, do you guys love or hate, or do billboards mean nothing to you guys?
I think they're kind of... Sorry, I think they're kind of annoying. I also think they're just kind of dangerous. Like, I feel like they're there for people to look at while you're driving, and that's like taking, I don't know, attention away. So I just find that they're a nuisance, and I don't really like them. That's my 2 cents.
No, okay. That's good. Kyle, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I kind of along Courtney's point, billboards that are like less actual like words and just more maybe like icons, and just like an image, I think speaks more to like our generation than like driving down the road and saying like cancer ? Like go to this hospital. But like having images on billboards is much more powerful, and I bet it's safer in that like you can just let your mind like look at something and you're not reading something, you're just like analyzing it for a quick second, and then you're coming up with your own opinion or on it.
Sure. Okay, anybody else?
Is there actually, sorry, I'm like way talking over. Is there actually like any like information on like are billboards actually like successful in marketing? Because I don't know, I just really don't feel like they're that effective.
No, and I'll get into this. I was going to tell you guys, you know, we buy actual old school billboards with Mary Freebed. It's the one place that I've worked in my professional career that's going on like 15, 16, 17 years now. And this is the place that I've bought the most traditional billboards because of the demographic that we're trying to reach. We're a rehabilitation hospital, not for drugs or alcohol, but a rehabilitation for your body, your mind, brain injury, spinal cord injury, you know, strokes, things like that. You know, if you have amputation, we make orthotics and fake legs and bionic arms and hands like Luke Skywalker. It's really cool, has, you know, and things. And so we have that demographic, that looks for those things, and it's kind of wild to me. They are expensive and things like that. They're not cheap. They're not bad. If you have the budget and you're running a campaign, they always go with a campaign with us at Mary Free Bed, and they're kind of cool. But I'll say this: there's a lot of other opportunities to do advertising, especially traditional advertising in today's realm, that might be just as effective. And to your question about how do they know, yes, billboard companies use traffic patterns, okay? And they can see traffic patterns based on averages of people in cars at certain times of days. And yes, I get a report back that says, in this day, here's an average number of eyes, they call it, on the billboard, and then here it is for a week and month, blah, 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 however long you have your campaign running. And so, yeah, you can look at that stuff. And it's an interesting part of public relations, okay? But yes, it is a part that's still there. And now, too, they're even going away from traditional. We just do traditional billboards, but they even have electronic billboards now that are even cheaper because, maybe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different images that are rotating, and each image has 10 seconds or 20 seconds on, and they rotate that stuff. So that's even a newer way of a traditional form of advertising, but the ones that we buy with Mary Free Bed, they literally are the big vinyl, and they're made in this huge shop, and they're these huge things of vinyl that they stretch over billboards, which is the way they still do traditional billboards. Right now, if you go to maryfreebed.com, and the first image is good, you're going to see Santa, and it's awesome. And it says holidays happen. It's a really, really cool advertising campaign, you guys. And so Santa is on a rooftop and going into a chimney, and he's stuck upside down, like he got stuck, and holidays happen, and so he got hurt. So Santa is going to need some rehabilitation. Okay, and we have another one. If you go to our Twitter page, I think it's our Twitter or our LinkedIn page, and we have one with an elf, and it has an elf laying there, and you see 2 little elf feet sticking out underneath a big Christmas box, and it says holidays happen, and then go to askformary.com, blah blah. So it's a pretty cool holiday campaign. I don't know if you guys have seen it or if you just went and checked it out. I'll send you the imagery. It's cool stuff. So yes, billboards are definitely effective, and there's my little rant about billboards. Okay, newspaper advertising is effective. It's getting cheaper and cheaper in ways, but it's not reaching near as many people. All newspapers across the country, small newspapers are leaving. Small newspapers are being gobbled up by larger newspaper conglomerations. And I'll tell you this, and I am a true and through journalist, you guys. I love to write. I loved writing for a paper. I loved writing for the Andersonian and Echo's Yearbook when I was a Raven. I loved working at the Herald Bulletin, and I worked at a couple other little newspapers since. I even was a stringer for the Indianapolis Star for a little while. But I'll say this, there will be a time when newspapers will cease to exist. If you would ask me this 15 years ago when the millennium hit, when I was just then graduating from Anderson University and I was a senior in college, would I have said that? And I would have been like, heck no. Newspapers are declining, but they will not die. But I will say this, newspapers as we know them, a physical form of newspaper will die in the very near future. Okay? I give it 5 to 10 years at that. Newspapers will become digital. Every newspaper now has a digital form online, okay, as they're doing that. And that is your traditional media adapting into becoming new media. Everybody here has, been to the Anderson Herald Bulletin online, right, or the Indianapolis Star online, or your hometown paper online, and you read stories. It's there. Even the Andersonian is online now, right? Didn't I see that a year or so ago? Online, like there's a website for the Andersonian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So, let's talk about this. Yes. Again, here's your new media. Here's your traditional media. Sometimes you have to find that balance right in the middle. Sometimes you have to skew a little bit more one way, skew a little bit more the other way. But I'm going to say this, you always have to think about the new media along with the traditional media. All right, and I know I sound like a broken record, okay, but it's really important stuff. Let me take a drink. I'm talking too much. I've run traditional campaigns. I've run new media campaigns. I've run both together. And most of the time I have found in my professional experience that running them together is the way to go and do that, okay? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about, okay, most of you guys are PR majors, so let's talk about news releases. All right? How would you guys distribute a news release today? Anybody?
The Wire.
The Wire?
Is that what? I don't know what you're asking.
How if you were working for an organization or a company and you wrote a press release and you wanted to get it out, how would you distribute that today?
You'd send it to newsrooms.
Newsrooms, yeah, sure. How would you do that?
Probably via email.
Via email, okay. Anybody ever thought about tweeting? You know, pitching a story? Yeah, I see a couple of yes. I've actually pitched several stories via Twitter. I can't believe it. Texting from your phone is a viable business form now, so you can text somebody, okay? But basically, what I'm getting at, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was faxing press releases out, okay? I was faxing the newsrooms, and then they were taking them. And I remember even when we were doing that, everybody was, oh, well, maybe you should just email me the news release and things like that. But yes, there are still fax machines, very few fax machines, and it's still a medium that's being used today just a little bit, okay? So, news releases, let's talk ads. Okay, editorials. What is it? You know, you guys know when I say an editorial for like a newspaper or a magazine, right? That's the opinion of somebody that wrote that.
Right.
That's basically what blogs are today. Everybody's an editorialist. Think about the new media version of that. It's blogging. When I let you guys, like this week, do a 500-word blog on anything that you want to talk about, okay? It could be an opinion. I mean, it could be, you know, explaining something. I mean, you know, obviously we know that whatever type of blog you do, I mean, it's wide open, okay? But it could be an opinion about something, and it could be your thoughts. I mean, so everybody is an editorialist, all right? Ugh, excuse me. So, has anybody here, and I know you guys have probably had to create some type of campaigns and this and that for other classes, maybe. Has anybody here ever used traditional media along with social media and tell everybody as kind of an example, okay? Have you ever done it, you know, for a nonprofit or an org or, you know, an internship or something?
Yeah, well, with my internship at the United Way last year,
Sure.
there was a lot of times where, like, the Herald Bulletin would want, like, I would send things to the Herald Bulletin, but I would also make sure that, like, I was using social media, especially to, like, get to students. Not so much, like, the community of Anderson. I think using social media I used it more, like, in Ames to try to reach the student population, but the Herald Bulletin was great for, like, the community.
Cool. No, that's cool. Smile, everybody.
Checking up the deuces.
Cool. No, right on. Okay, so you would use that for the Herald Bulletin. How would you distribute press releases? Kyle.
Those would, like, be emailed.
They would email press releases?
That's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, right on. Anybody else ever do it or use that together?
Yeah, I did that maybe 2 weeks ago for my internship. There was a program at the middle school, and what's his name? The principal asked me to contact the Herald Bulletin, write a press release, that kind of stuff, but also have some social media posts leading up to it, and both were specifically for the community to attend. So
that's awesome. How did you distribute your press release?
Again, I just emailed it to him, and the main contact for the Herald Bulletin. So
Yeah. Did you talk to him or did someone else, like the principal?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It's okay. He said he was already doing something on another, like from another school, and he said he would add a line or two about the thing that I was wanting to promote, but
Did he?
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know? It hasn't been out. It hasn't come out yet. Okay.
I haven't checked the newspaper.
Well, that's cool. Okay. Anybody else have any examples?
When I worked at Texas Roadhouse, I worked in the marketing department, and we were trying to get the word out about a ribbon contest for firefighters that we do every year.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, and so we actually had done stuff on social media, which is kind of, we send out emails to our list of people that are on the email list or whatever that sign up for it. And then we do Twitter and Instagram and Facebook too. But we took what we had and we wanted the Herald Bulletin to put it in for free because it benefited the local firefighters. So we kind of went there and had them put it in, and it worked out really well. So
that's cool. So you pitched it as, here's us giving back instead of them like charging you for an ad or something like that.
Right.
Nice, nice. Good work. Good work. Okay, cool. Anybody else? Let's see. Olivia, you got anything?
No.
No? Okay, right on. So another one, just to let you guys know about this, one of the things that I did, just talk about the mustache too in here. Okay, so I volunteered for Movember Indianapolis, which Movember Indy is going on right now, okay? And I was the communications guy. So I wrote a press release. I sent it out via email. I actually dropped it off at some of the larger, what do you call it, magazines and things like that, along with some mustache stickers, things like Indianapolis Monthly. I think I dropped it off at the IBJ, things like that. Like I created a little like media-esque type of kit, but it was all about the stickers, getting them excited and things like that. But then I also use social media. I use our website, and then I created a hashtag, which they're still using. This year it's MoIndy15, but I think back then it was like MoIndy12, so Movember Indy 2012. That was for. So that was one of my campaigns that I used it for. Used both the new media and the social media, along with web video. We loved the web video, but we had a series of actual ads. We had a series of people, interviews and things like that with the guy that was the president, and those were, in older type of publications. Those were in the newspaper. Those were in our magazines, and then also we had television interviews and radio interviews along with web videos. So there was something using both traditional with your new media. That's cool stuff. All right, guys. So tell me this. What would you do? Here, I gotta take a drink. What would you do if you were to construct, let's say, a public relations campaign or a nonprofit group, okay, that, I don't know, was for the environment, okay, and you want to create a PR campaign, PR marketing campaign for them. Give me, like, 5 traditional type of things and give me 5 new media type of things. So, yeah, I don't know. Think about it for a second. So, and I want tactics. What would we do? What would you guys do? For that.
I think for one of the social media things, Facebook is a big platform, it seems like. I see a lot of environmental causes on Facebook because it's a place that you're able to share photos and the articles, and people can share it, and so it comes up a lot, I think. And I think there's a lot of celebrities that share the environmental things on their Facebooks and not really much elsewhere, like Leonardo DiCaprio, I know, shares them all the time.
No, that's cool, and that's a good point. I'll tell you this. it's a known fact that Google and Facebook give a little bit more love to the environmental charities, I think in like SEO and search and things like that. So that's a cool one. Okay. Anybody else? Allison, you go, please.
Okay, I feel like some Instagram posts about like really cool like nature-y photos and kind of make up a hashtag. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but
No, that's good. That's new media stuff. Okay, so we've had 2 new media now, using Facebook, then using Instagram and hashtag. So somebody else give me a traditional media tactic that we might do.
You could do an event that has public people there and local media. So you could send out a press release about, or news release about, I don't know, a volunteer day where people go plant trees or something.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Right on. You got the press release, you got the public event, you got you got good art. You have something for the media to come and shoot or take pictures of, come out and talk to people. They love that stuff. They love that stuff. All right. Somebody else give me a traditional media tactic. Okay, let's see here. One of you guys. Kyle, what do you think, dude?
I'm trying to think like something like outside the box, because that's just kind of how I am. I feel like with traditional media, one, and maybe this is me just offering more of a commentary, I feel like environmental issues are much more like millennials hold those like a lot closer than other generations, and millennials are mostly like online to get all their news. So I feel like the new media would be like the best route to go about it. But if you were trying to reach like an older demographic, and like explain the issues of like environmental issues.
Let's say we're reaching an older demographic because we're looking at them for donations.
Right. I feel like from a like public relations standpoint, and maybe this is more of like an execution thing, like trying to execute something, but like having some sort of program, and it would need to start with like a big company, but having like a newspaper cover, kind of like what Olivia said. I know Eli Lilly does this, where they take a day off, like they're not going to work, but they're going to serve. But having like a newspaper dedicated to like writing one like front page above the fold story would be a way to like maybe get that older demographic. And then the other thing is we talked about billboards earlier, but I feel like it would almost be a little I don't want to say it would be a little contradictory, but like having like a giant billboard while people like drive their gas guzzling cars about the environment doesn't seem like it would make a whole lot of sense. I don't know.
Okay, I got that. That's a good point.
I have another idea. So I feel like the older generations, they probably still get all their bills in the mail. So maybe for like an electric company or energy, just kind of do like a informational like pamphlet or kind of leaflets with just random facts about turning off your lights will decrease your bill and whatever.
No, I got it. You're talking about direct mail, a direct mail campaign.
Yeah.
Like a leaflet campaign or something like that, and then you would make a landing page on a website, like maybe put the website page on the leaflet that you send out to certain zip codes that you're looking to hit up, right? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, maybe even use like recycled paper, because then
yeah,
the argument that you're mailing out paper that just like filling landfills or something.
Yeah, that's good. That's better paper. No, I got you. You know what a good return is for a direct mail campaign? A percentage.
1.
Anybody? Huh?
1%.
No,
1?
isn't it?
7. I don't know.
3%. I mean, think about. I do. I kind of just look through, and if it's something, I just pitch it, or this or that. But 3%. But that's a definite tactic that has worked. And think about that. If you have a service or this or that, you spend. I mean, I've used direct mail in very specific ways. At Marriott Free Bed Hospital, and before that, I used to work for a vacation home company in Orlando, Florida, and I was one of their marketing people, and we used to buy a zip code list up in like New York and things like that in the winter, January, February, and I'd send these beautiful mailers of vacation homes down in sunny, warm Florida when it was snowy and crappy up north. You know, I mean, it was great. It was great. It was crazy. But yeah, 3%. So, yeah, I think that's a great tactic. It's one that's being used less and less, but is definitely still a viable option. All right, anybody else? Give me another one. Come on, man. There's a million of them. I got like 4 or 5 right now.
Are you talking about traditional or new media?
You choose.
I've got, to go off of what Kyle said earlier about Eli Lilly, I know that what they do is they're volunteers. When they have those so many hours that they have to go out, they actually have a digital media hub that, depending on the hashtag they use, I think it's like We Are Lilly, they can get their images taken from their social media and posted to this hub that goes worldwide, so you can see all the Lilly people and everything that they're doing, and it's kind of cool. But
Lily Pad.
is that what it is?
I think that's the name of it, Lily Pad, or else that's a different initiative. But yeah, that's awesome, and that's cool, man. I mean, that's a big deal, the days of service for companies like Lilly. So, you know, you get a couple different types of things there with that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so check it out. You know, we've talked about this. You guys get it. You guys understand that from now on, seriously, 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 and don't let anyone tell you any different. You always have to have some form of new media in with your campaigns. It's a viable, completely legitimate function of communications, public relations, and the media today, okay? And hopefully over the course of the semester here, you guys have been, you know, learning and doing your posts, and the posts have been getting easier, and you're seeing that everything, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter what the product is, again, it doesn't matter if it's what nonprofit it is, everything has a presence online now and on social media, and I think you guys get that, man. It's awesome. So, right on. Hey, any questions before we end up? I think that is it for class tonight. Everybody cool? Everybody peaced out? All right, man. Everybody's quiet. So this is it. I know, man. It's hard to keep a class going when you're on a computer screen. Mm-hmm. Woo! You guys, if we were together, I would be throwing out candy and tchotchke. I've had fun with my in-person classes, man. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Maybe I'll have to send you guys something virtually.
Maybe it's worth a trip down, like once, you know. Just drive one Tuesday.
Maybe.
Yeah, pizza.
We'll see, dude. We can Pizza King. The Pizza King on Broadway, right over there by school.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. Some half-baked breadsticks. Pizza King pizza. Oh, it's delicious. That is so good.
All right.
I might just do that. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But, hey, okay, everybody. Keep using the hashtag. We love it. Communicating through social media. C3370. And until next week, you know, have a good one.